Hey guys, welcome to My Little Paintbrush. I'm Miss Sarah, and today we get to paint one of our favorite cars. We love painting this one. I hope you do too. And remember, I'm going to be painting at a steady pace. So if you need to rewind or pause the video, do it, okay? This is all about you having a good time. I'm going to be using a couple of brushes. I have a large red flat, I have a small flat, and a detail. These are the ones that work for me. You use what works for you. I have a jar of water also handy, and all of my paint colors laid out. I separated my white, which is really important when you're painting because you don't want to contaminate it all at once. So make sure you separate your white, okay? Let's get started. Let's take our red flat brush, or any flat you have, and I'm gonna put it in some water and shake it out. Dampen my bristles, tap it off. Acrylic paint needs water. It gets so thirsty. So I'm going to take a little bit of white first and mix it with my blue to get my blue sky. This is going to warm up our paint muscles. And you can mix as much white in this blue as you want, creating the shade that you like best. So maybe you want it a little darker than mine. Now I'm going to start at the top, and we're going to paint side to side, just filling in our canvas here. Okay, I'm going to go around my car here. There we go. Now I like to add some clouds in my sky. And to do that, you just want to take a little white on the corner of your brush like that. Okay, and you're going to brush that white in as you go, swirling around your car. You just don't want to overbrush, because if you overbrush, you'll lose those clouds real easy. So just kind of let those fun brush strokes stay on your canvas. Makes it look like you've got clouds in the background, right? Okay. Now we're going to carefully try and paint around our car without painting inside the image. And if you accidentally do, okay, not a big deal. It's a painting, not a print, right? So you can always go back and fix things later or paint over it. All right, so now I'm going to carefully go around and try and fill in the space as close as I can to my car. There we go. The fun thing with this car is you're painting shapes. So the top of the car is a rectangle, and the bottom is too. It's just curved out a little bit. So you're just stacking these shapes. So as I paint, I'm just going around my rectangle shapes here, trying not to paint in. And we have the road on the bottom, right? So we'll paint that in just a minute. I'm not painting into it. Make sure my clouds are showing up in my sky. Like that. Like it already. Come around this side as well. Same thing. There we go. All the way down to the road line, right? Right there where that road is. We're going to stop and brush over the top. There we go. Okay, so now you can see your car still, and you can see where the road is, right? Now let's go ahead and put our road in. To do that, I'm going to make a really dark shade of gray. Okay, so let's take a little bit of black, mix it with some white. Now you can keep adding black, but I always start with a little bit. That way I can change it if I want to. But if you've looked at a road, right, it looks like gray. So I'm going to add some white until I get the shade I want. You might choose a different shade, and that's awesome. That is how art becomes so beautiful, because everyone creates different shades of color, and we all paint a little bit different. So I'm going to come right under my car first. See, I'm trying to carefully go along the edge without painting inside my car. And I'm painting side to side because that road is flat, right? So I want to paint side to side to help it look that way instead of up and down. But I'm going to try and go very carefully around my wheels so I don't lose them. But if you lose those wheels a little bit, it's okay. It's also a rectangle, and you can paint that on later. Okay, so let's paint around as best we can, side to side, putting that gray on there. Awesome, right? We also love to wrap our canvas. So as you're painting, if you want to paint your sides and the bottom of your canvas to make them look nice all the way around, you can reach around and do that now as you're painting. Go around that wheel. There we go. You can also brush in some white if you want to make your road look like it has different shades of gray. Or maybe this light is hitting it. Okay. There we go. Maybe you have some sunlight casting shadows on your road and clouds in the sky. There we go. All right, let's rinse our brush. It's looking good already. We are ready to start painting our image now. And I'm going to first rinse my brush really good to get all the black and blue out of it, right? So we don't end up with a purple car. We want a red car. So here's my red. I'm gonna add just a touch of white to it because I don't want it to turn pink. If you add too much white, you're gonna end up with pink. Okay, and maybe you want a pink car, and that's cool. Just keep adding white and you're gonna get a really pretty pink. But I wanna keep it darker. First thing I'm gonna do is start at the top of my car, and we're gonna paint around the eyes. Let's go along the top edge first and fill it in around the eyes as best we can without painting inside those eyes. And that takes some concentration. You might have to really slow down for just a minute and focus. Because we want to try and keep those eyes white as best we can. Okay, and I'm going to go along the top and try not to pick up my brush so I get a nice smooth edge. It's really hard to do. So just do your best. You are awesome for trying it. We're just learning new things, right? Learning new things together. All the way down to the eye there. See if I can find it. There it is. Curve it around. There we go. Okay, we have the top done. So now let's do the bottom. We're going to go side to side. I'm going to go under the eyes again, right here. We're going to do the hood. Trying to go across. It looks like a smile. We're curving it under the eyes. And the edge, we're curving. I like to try and paint my edges first. Helps me get a nice outline to start with. There we go. And then we're going to try and go around our lights, which are also squares, right? So I'm going to try and go around my lights without painting inside of them. Got lots of shapes to paint around, so we have to go nice and slow. Take our time filling that in. Just take some practice, right? Just doing our best. And make sure that you get enough paint that you don't have little white pockets showing up. Right? Okay, and then we have the smile here. Got to get around that smile too. Without painting inside. We want some white teeth. Okay. Curve around. And around that light. It's a good square right there, huh? So we're gonna go right around the edge of that one. And then down the front. I like to get all my edges done so then I can just rush away. There we go. Like that. Looks so good already, right? Now let's go around our smile. Those white teeth. We're getting a big smile from him, huh? He is happy to be racing. Okay, now right here, you've got to connect the teeth. Okay, so the way to do that is to follow that edge and create a smile. Just keep going with your brush. Follow it around. Ooh, I smeared a little bit of paint in that smile. Okay, good thing we're going to paint it white in a minute, huh? Now we'll do the other side. Follow that edge, same way. Create a smile. And it's not going to be perfect, right? Because you are painting. That's what makes painting so awesome, is all the fun accidents and the imperfections. All right, so now let's follow the bottom of this hood all the way around and brush in our paint. You've almost done it. Almost finished. Wow. Think we did it. Not bad, right? Good job on those shapes. Lots of shapes. And there you go. Now the fun thing with painting the hood of this car is it's really easy to just add a little bit of dimension by creating a shadow by the smile. And all you're going to do that is add a touch of black to your red right here. Just darken it up just a little bit. You don't want a lot. And you don't have to. Look how cool it looks just like that. Okay? But if you want to, you're just going to go right along the bottom of the car with that darker shade. Just like that. Right along the bottom, under the smile. See that? And it adds just a little bit of shading there to make it look like your hood is on top and your car is not flat. It doesn't have a flat hood. It curves it a little bit. See that? Isn't that awesome? You come right along the top of your smile. Just darken it up just a little bit. It's not enough to be super noticeable, but it's a little bit of dimension. It's something you can try if you want to. I'm just gonna brush it out. Make sure it's smooth. Smooth as I can get it. And then we're going to do the top of the car the same way. Okay, and then we're going to come up here to the top of your car and do the same thing along the top of the edge. That way it makes it look like your roof isn't flat, but it's kind of going over the edge. See, so it looks like your roof is curving up. So I just go right along the top of my roof too, just like that. And you did it. Looks so good. All right, let's get ready. I just want to brush out my paint right there. Let's get ready to finish it up, right? The next thing we're gonna do, let's rinse our brush out really good. Let's do the white on our eyes. Make sure my brush is so clean because I don't have a red eye ball up there. Now only paint your eyeballs if you really need to because your canvas is already white. So you may not need to even paint your eyes, but if you accidentally painted inside your eyeballs a little bit, you can just go along the edge like this. See that? Just clean them up. Be really careful not to paint over your circles in your eyes because you need those, right? So I'm just really careful not to paint inside those. But I do like to clean up my edges, make sure I don't have any paint that I don't want. And then you're going to paint your teeth and your headlights. So here we go. Just make sure you have all of your headlights covered where you need to. And then we're going to make sure your mouth is painted too. See where I got a little bit of red in it? I'm just going to go right over it with a little brush and make sure it's not red anymore. White will cover it up. Get my little corners here of my mouth. Make sure I got a big smile. Do my other corner. Big smile. Where I painted in just a little bit, right? Just like that, and you're good. All right, let's do our eyes. So I'm going to use a light blue for my eyes. So I'm mixing some white and blue together to get a light blue. You can do your eyes any color you want. Remember, you can mix blue and yellow together to get green even if you want to. Get a light blue. We're just going to paint our circles, and I like to outline my circle first. So I go around the edges first. That way I get a really good edge before I paint inside. So it's just like if you're using a marker and you're drawing a circle, do the same thing with your paintbrush. Paint a circle and then fill it in. That way you get a clean edge on your shape. Right? Like that. The same over here on the other one. Go around the edges. Go, get my circle. And then I can paint inside. And the middle circle is black, so we won't paint that one yet. We're just getting this outside circle done first. Perfect, just like that. He looks kind of silly right now, huh? But we will get to it in a minute. We're gonna let it dry though before we do the black. That way we don't get a gray color and smear our paint. Okay, so next we're gonna do our lights. So I'm going to take a little bit of white, mix it with some yellow, get my headlight color. Now this part is white. It's the outside square that's yellow. So we're just gonna paint that outside square yellow, just like that. Fill it in. Perfect. Let's do our other one. Fill in that square. Like that. Love it. Now grab a detail brush. And we're going to put a yellow stroke. Because, right, it's kind of the illusion of the flame, right? You know there's a flame, but we're just going to do a yellow stroke along the hood. So I'm going to take my detail brush and just right under the eyes right here, I'm going to create a smile right along the top of the hood. You might have to do 2 layers or put more yellow or white in your yellow to get a bright yellow for that stroke. You might have to, and that's okay. because it's a very transparent color. It means you can see through the color really well. So sometimes it takes a little more white or 2 layers to get it on there. But here's your stroke. I'm gonna go a little further, I think. Yeah. Good smile there. Okay. Now let's let the yellow dry for a minute. If you need to come back and put one more layer on, you can later. Let's let it dry. And let's paint our wheels while we wait just a minute for that to dry. So I'm going to come down and just get some black, and I'm using a small flat brush. I'm going to paint my wheels, and they're a square. We're just going to paint them black. We don't have to mix anything with it. And remember, black covers everything, so you want to go nice and slow when you're painting these wheels. Your wheels will get really big really fast. So I always like to slow down when I'm using black and take my time. I curve the edges because our wheels are round, right? So I like to curve them a little bit to make them look more round. Go down the other side and just curve it. There you go. Looks like I have a flat tire. I need to fix that, huh? There we go. A little better. A little bit. Brush it out. Now these edges, I like to use a detail brush to do. So when I'm coming up on the edge of my wheel right here, where it gets a little smaller, I get a smaller brush. Because it's tiny and it's kind of tricky to do, right? With our flat brush. So I like to switch brushes and use a smaller brush to come up the side and paint the corner of that wheel. But if you can manage it without switching brushes, then awesome. There we go. Okay, and now the wheels are done. Let's use our detail brush to finish up our eyes and our outlining. So I like to add some water to my black and mix it. Really good. And look how awesome your painting already looks, right? We're just gonna go around our edges now. This is called outlining. Just to clean up the edges. And remember, you don't have to do all this outlining if you don't want to. But it really does help your painting to stand out a little bit. Not all artists do it though. Some artists don't like it. I like to do it on my eyes though. So I really want my eyes to pop a little bit, and it adds some shadow. So what I'm going to do is just follow the top, almost like eyebrows or eyelids for the eyes. See that? Makes it look like there's eyelids there. So it's going to come around a little bit more. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same on the top of the hood. I'm just going to come around. Giving myself a little bit of a shadow, huh? With that outline. And when you're outlining, you're going to get thick lines, you're going to get thin lines, depending on how hard you press with your brush. Just know they're all great and not to worry too much about it. Outlining is really tricky. So just be proud of yourself for doing it and trying. I'm going to go right around the outside edge here by my tire. Same on the other side. We're just going to go right around the edge to the tire. And then add a shadow along the bottom. So it looks like, so it looks like there's a shadow on the bottom of the car. where it's facing the road. Because there naturally is, right? That's awesome. All right, now let's do our eyes. So now I'm going to come up here now that my blue's all dry and I won't smear my outlining. Remember to do your shape first. So I do my middle circle outline first before I fill it in. I had a clump of wet paint right there, so it turned a little gray. Now I'm going to fill it in. There we go. And circles are really tricky, so good job. Fill it in. Let's do the other one. Go right around the edges. Fill it in. Ooh, there it is. Awesome. Okay. And then let's finish up our lights. I'm going to go right around the edges to give my lights a little bit of shadow too. Go right down the middle. We'll do the other one. Just outlining our square here, or our rectangle. Outlining the rectangle, right? And then go right down the middle of our square, creating a square for the smaller light. Just like that. And now you can add some lines if you want to in the light. Long and short lines. Just like that. I do different lengths when I'm doing it. See that? And then let's create our smile. I'm just going to finish it up and separate our smile, right? With teeth. You've got your teeth right there. And we got to separate them a little bit. Now, I didn't outline all of my smile, just the bottom and the teeth, really. You can outline all of it if you want to. I just did a little bit for a shadow, but I didn't go all the way across. All right, now let's just follow our line right across the middle for the teeth, like that. Awesome, good work. All I'm gonna do now is a little bit of highlighting and we're done. You guys did so good. Amazing. Just grab a detail brush and I'm gonna get a little bit of white on my brush, okay? And we're going to add highlights wherever you think the light might be touching. A little bit on the top, right? And then our lights, I'm going to curve a sideways smile in my light. Make it look like a light bulb in there. Got a little bit of light on top too, on each side. Light in our paintings just adds so much. So I'll put a little bit under my yellow on my hood. And then to make our tires stand out just a little bit, I'm going to curve a little bit of light on each side. Just like that. Awesome. And then our eyes, I'm going to put a little bit of a highlight in those eyes. Give them a little bit of a glimmer, and then use the back of your brush. Get a chocolate chip just like that. I'm just going to dot a reflection in each eye. Just like that. Look how awesome. I love it. Good work, you guys. The last thing we're going to do is sign our name because we are proud of ourselves, right? We worked really hard today, and all artists sign their work. They want everyone to know they did it and they're proud of it. So I'm going to sign my name. Just like that. Find a spot. If you had fun with me today, give me a thumbs up, and we hope you'll paint with us again soon. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.